Under the merciless Mexican sun, the rocks look like they're burning. Through the lenses of a pair of binoculars, the world is reduced to heat and misery. Down below, in a godforsaken valley, lies the Frontera penitentiary, where broken men turn stone into dust under the whip. But the brutal routine is broken. A solitary carriage kicks up dust on the trail, clashing with this landscape of death. It's not a prisoner transport. It's something from civilization. In the shadows of the cliffs, watchful eyes track its approach. Destiny is arriving by carriage, and it brings secrets that could tear these walls down. While the sun punishes the outside world, inside the town, the mood is one of feasting and decay. In a smoky cantina, French love songs try to disguise the brutality of the frontier. Commandant Liero, a vain man sporting a ridiculous monocle, raises a glass, drunk on power and wine. But the real attraction has just walked in. Blanche, a vision of elegance among the brutes, casts her charm like a net. She's not here for the music. Her eyes lock with Liero's, and the officer falls into the trap, ignoring that such beauty hides a razor's edge ready to cut. The carriage crosses the gates of hell. The prisoners, men reduced to striped rags and sunburnt skin, stop their pickaxes. The silence is heavy, broken only by the sound of wheels. To them, Blanche is a mirage. To her, they are pawns in a dangerous game. Liero welcomes her with the exaggerated courtesy of a man trying to impress, blind to reality. He sees a helpless lady. We see a poker player bluffing with her life. As she enters the fort under the guard's protection, hungry and desperate eyes follow her. But one gaze is different, cold, calculating, waiting for the right time. Far from the luxury of the officers' quarters, the air is stale and damp. Down in the dungeons, where sunlight fears to tread, we find the chained beast, Tex Willer. Bearded, dirty, but with the posture of a deposed king. Blanche descends into the gloom, bringing the promise of freedom. The dialogue is tense, whispered between the bars. She needs a man capable of the impossible. He needs a chance. "You must be dangerous," she says. Tex just smiles. That smile of a man who knows chains are only temporary. The deal is sealed not with paper, but with the mutual understanding that hell is about to rise to the surface. Night falls over Frontera. In the commandant's room, champagne flows, and laughter tries to drown out the tension. Liero, a fool in love, melts into compliments, while Blanche maintains control, her ears tuned to the outside. And then, the signal. Glass shatters, a shadow moves. Sam, the giant partner in misfortune, is already in position. The seduction in the bedroom was just the perfect distraction. While the commandant dreams of romance, his prisoners prepare for war. The time for talk is over. Silence? Never again. The escape kicks off with the brutality of a stampede. In the room, Liero sleeps the sleep of the just, or the idiots, with a "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door, while outside, the world collapses. Sam and Tex move in perfect sync. Guards are neutralized before they can even scream. Sam's physical strength is overwhelming, snapping necks and clearing obstacles. The night, once the ally of the watchman, now belongs to the fugitives. They move through the shadows like vengeful ghosts, heading toward the freedom that was stolen from them. The alarm sounds. The prison yard turns into a battlefield lit by torches and gunfire. Tex, bare-chested and with fury stamped on his face, takes control of the wagon. There's no time for subtlety. It's lead against flesh. The guards, caught by surprise, fire blindly, but the target fights back with deadly precision. Blanche clings to the wooden frame as the horses, seized by panic, tear through the rough terrain. The wagon charges forward, trampling anyone who stands in the way. The escape isn't a retreat. It's a direct attack on the heart of the garrison. Confusion reigns. Amidst the dust and screams, the fight becomes hand-to-hand. Tex doesn't need a Colt to be lethal. A pickaxe, a piece of wood, anything will do. With a brutal blow, he knocks down a mounted sentry, opening the final breach. "Die, gringo!" shouts an officer, but his words die in his throat. The giant Sam protects the rear like a human wall. The alarm now echoes through the entire valley, but it's too late. The birds have flown the coop, and they've got sharp talons. The road unspools under the moonlight, a dangerous ribbon between canyons. The wagon rattles violently, threatening to fall apart at every turn. Tex whips the reins, demanding everything from the exhausted animals. Behind them, the cavalry tries to organize, but the distance grows. Blanche, showing she's got ice in her veins, reloads the weapons. There are no words, just the sound of hooves and the panting breath of those who escape death by a hair. They leave the prison behind, but they carry the promise of vengeance with them. Far from enemy eyes, by a quiet creek, the transformation happens. The metal of the knife shines in the starlight, scraping away the dirty beard of months in captivity. The water washes away the sweat and the shame of the prison. And when the face looks up, we don't see the nameless prisoner anymore. We see the square jaw, the steely gaze, the legend. Tex Willer emerges from the shadows. Blanche watches, fascinated. The man who looked like a common outlaw now exudes natural authority. "Much better," she says, and he agrees. The devil has returned to his true form. The ritual is complete. Tex puts on the yellow shirt, adjusts the black neckerchief, and, most importantly, reclaims his gun belt with the Colts. His posture changes. The weight of the weapons on his hips is familiar and comforting. Blanche, now aware of who really saved her, asks about the future. The conversation is frank. Tex isn't a mercenary. He's a Texas Ranger, and his mission goes far beyond a simple escape. There's a score to settle, and the currency of exchange will be lead. The posse is formed, and the destination is clear. Hunt down the traitors. Under the silvery light of the moon, Blanche opens the book of her life. She speaks of Paris, but her soul belongs to this hard land. She reveals herself as the daughter of John Giroux, an honorable man betrayed by those he trusted. Her narrative paints a picture of corruption and death. Tex listens in silence, processing every name, every detail. The name Dan Shannon surfaces like poison. Shannon, the man who stained the Silver Star. Tex now understands. It wasn't bad luck that led him to that prison. It was a conspiracy to take the honest pieces off the board. Flashback. Memory takes us back days ago, to the desert where the tragedy struck. Tex and Carson, still on patrol, find the bodies. Rangers dead, left to rot under the sun. It wasn't Indians. It wasn't common bandits. The marks are clear. Shots in the back, fired by friends. Indignation boils over. Tex reads the ground like he's reading a newspaper. "Rotten apples," he says. "The corruption has poisoned the whole basket." The mission to clear the Corps' name begins right there, standing over the corpses of good men. We return to the present, or perhaps a crucial moment of infiltration. Night in a frontier town is silent, but deadly. On the roof, figures move with the lightness of cats. A taut bow, the almost inaudible hiss of the string, and the arrow finds its mark. A sentry falls without a sound. Tex isn't just a gunslinger. He learned from the best warriors of the Navajo Nation. Justice arrives without making a noise, clearing the path for the reckoning that will come with the sunrise. Rio Lobo, a dusty town where secrets are sold cheap. Blanche, regaining her ladylike posture, steps onto the scene to gather intel. She uses her beauty as a weapon, probing for Shannon's whereabouts. In the hotel room, Tex, now shaven and clean, plans the next steps with the coldness of a general. Shannon is popular, protected, a fake hero adored by the blind populace. "He paid his debt to us," says Tex, "but the final bill hasn't been presented yet. They need to expose the rat to the light of day." In a moment of calm, we learn the pain that drives the giant. Inside the ranger office, in the past, Sam receives the news. His brother, Rhett Hoskins, a man who fought against racism and injustice to wear the badge, was killed. And worse, blamed for crimes he didn't commit. The major tries to dissuade Sam, but the man has loyalty etched into his skin. He knows his brother was a hero. The alliance between Tex, Sam, and Blanche isn't political. It's a brotherhood of blood and loss. They fight for the memory of those who can no longer speak. The night is hot in front of the Mexican cantina. Music spills out of the open windows, mixed with drunken laughter. Outside, a ragged gringo, seemingly falling down drunk, is shooed away. "Muy bien, stay out here, amigo," says the henchman. The drunk grumbles, stumbles. No one pays attention to a washed-up old man. But under the brim of that battered hat, eagle eyes monitor everything. It's the calm before the storm. The stage is set, and the actors are in their places. Inside the bar, the smoke is thick. The drunk enters again, stumbling to the counter. A woman lights a cigarette, the gesture slow, sensual, and dangerous. The atmosphere grows heavy. The drunk asks for a light. One of the bandits, annoyed, puts his hand on his gun. Fatal mistake. The sound of the revolver hammer cocking is louder than the music. The drunk isn't shaking anymore. The vacant stare is replaced by a steely aim. The woman smiles. The trap snaps shut. The saloon door flies open with a kick. The unmistakable silhouette fills the frame. "Tex Willer!" someone screams, and panic sets in. The drunk at the bar rips off the moral disguise. It's Kit Carson, and he's already got two in his sights. Shannon's gang, who thought themselves untouchable, now face the two most feared rangers in the Southwest. The guns spit fire, bottles shatter, wood splinters. There is no negotiation. It's Texas law being applied bullet by bullet. "You took the bait, Vince!" yells Carson, with a smile of satisfaction. The bar turns into a whirlwind of violence. Tex advances, using his fists like sledgehammers, knocking down men trying to draw their weapons. A bandit tries to escape through a secret trap door, thinking he can slip away underground. "Go sleep it off, calfhead," says Tex, as he dispatches him into the darkness. The interrogation begins right there, amidst the wreckage. Where is Shannon? Where do rats run when the ship sinks? Fear loosens tongues faster than whiskey. Dust settles in the saloon. Bodies groan on the floor. The patrons, once hostile, now look on with respect and fear. Kit Carson and Tex Willer cleared the place in minutes. On the counter, among shards of glass, they find the clues. Shannon isn't in town. He fled the night before, sensing the danger. "Did he go to Mexico?" someone asks. No. The trail points to something worse. He went to seek protection where the white man's law doesn't reach. In another corner of town, the remnants of Shannon's gang are shaking. The news spreads fast. Tex Willer is alive, free, and in town. The bandit's arrogance evaporates. "I trusted you," the local boss said his incompetent subordinates. They realize the noose is around their necks. The only way out is to run, to disappear into the desert. But deep down, they know there is no hole deep enough to hide from a ranger's vengeance. In a quiet room, away from the chaos, the conspiracy is dissected. Blanche, Tex, and Carson put the pieces together. Shannon didn't act alone. He forged reports, framed innocents, killed comrades. "My father died for this," says Blanche. Tex holds the evidence. Now it's not just about clearing their names. It's about destroying a lie that has lasted for years. They have the truth, but they need to deliver it on the tip of a bullet for the world to believe it. Tactical flashback. We see how the cleanup operation began. Under the starlight, Tex uses the bow again. Silent, lethal. Sentries on the rooftops are taken down without a scream. The arrow embeds itself in the wood, vibrating. It's psychological warfare. Before showing his face, Eagle of the Night shows his claws. Fear is the first weapon fired. In the Major's office, Shannon's final farce is uncovered. A letter, supposedly written by John Giroux, is analyzed. "It's a forgery," the officer. The handwriting doesn't match. Shannon tried to cover his tracks using a dead man's name, but greed made him careless. The anger on the Major's face is evident. He was played by one of his own captains. The hunt now has official sanction. Tex isn't an outlaw. He is the arm of justice. Morning comes. The group is ready. Blanche has traded silk dresses for riding clothes. She looks like a true daughter of the West. Tex compliments her. "The trick worked, Tex." She was the perfect actress. Sam, silent as always, checks the horses. Carson adjusts his hat. There's no time to lose. Shannon has a head start of hours, but he carries the weight of fear, while the hunters ride with the lightness of justice. The desert reveals its secrets. Following the trail, they find the shallow grave. The remains of John Giroux and Ranger Hoskins. The moment is solemn. Sam kneels before his brother's body. Pain turns into fuel. Tex watches, his face hardened. "They didn't stand a chance," he says. "Shot in the back. Pure cowardice." There, before bones bleached by the sun, the oath is renewed. Shannon won't see another sunrise. The landscape becomes hostile. Deep canyons, narrow trails. The group moves in single file. Shannon's trail is clear to the experienced eyes of Tex and Carson. They're going deep into wild territory. Shannon has no intention of finding Ponytail's Comancheria, says Carson. He's running to hide, not to negotiate. But the desert is a maze, and Tex knows every rock. They stop to read the terrain. Shannon is trying to throw them off, circling back, but fear is making him make mistakes. He knows how to stay undiscovered, says Blanche, worried. Tex shakes his head. For now. The hunter knows that the prey, sooner or later, needs to drink, needs to stop. They are closing the distance. The vast horizon hides the enemy, but the wind brings his scent. Suddenly, the scenery changes. Warriors appear on the ridges of the hills. Comanches, bows raised, war paint on. Has Shannon's group been seen? No, they are being watched. Tex signals to halt. We've been spotted, warns Carson. But something is wrong. The Indians don't attack immediately. They recognize something. One of them points. Tosa Taibo, the white man. The tension is electric. One wrong move and the massacre begins. Cut to the night in an abandoned structure where Shannon and his men are hiding. They think they are safe in the darkness, but the darkness has eyes. Sam moves in the shadows, invisible. A henchman whispers, "It's the black man, that black man." Before he can scream, a strong hand pulls him away. Terror is silent. Shannon is being hunted by ghosts from his past. Inside the hideout, lantern light reveals the fear. One of Shannon's men feels the cold barrel of a Colt against his neck. Click. "Look who's alive, charcoal face," says the bandit, trying to be brave. But the answer is brute force. Tex and Sam are there. The bandit's arrogance crumbles. They are forced to talk. Where is Shannon? What is he planning? The interrogation is quick and efficient. On the ground, a fallen body. Tex searches the pockets. He finds an envelope. "Buenos dias." It's a message left behind, or perhaps proof Shannon tried to destroy. The code phrase. The plot tightens. Tex reads the paper by moonlight. Shannon isn't just running. He's going to meet an old friend among the Indians. Someone he thinks he can buy. Back to a moment of direct confrontation. Vince, Shannon's right-hand man, is surrounded in the bar. He sees the drunk stand up. "Kit Carson!" The shock is total. "To hell with you!" screams Vince, drawing his gun. Bang, bang. Carson is faster. Vince falls, wounded, his gun flying away. Carson blows smoke from the barrel. "Oh, then forgive me. I almost shot you, sir," he says with his usual sarcasm. Shannon's right arm has been cut off. Vince, bleeding and defeated, gives it all up. "Where is Shannon?" demands Tex. The bandit, realizing he's been abandoned by his boss, talks. Shannon went to Ponytail's village. He believes he can convince the Comanches to protect him in exchange for rifles. It's a suicide plan, but it's the only card he has left. Tex smiles. Very well. Now they know exactly where the rat has hidden. The Comanche village stretches out in the valley. Shannon rides in with his last men, confident. But on the surrounding hills, sentries watch him. And not just them. Tex and his group have arrived too. A Comanche warrior watches Tex with binoculars, or sharp vision. He sees Blanche's blonde hair, but focuses on the man in the yellow shirt. "Good God, Tex! Does he want my scalp?" asks Carson. "No," says Tex. "He is admiring." the mutual recognition between warriors. Inside the chief's tent, the news arrives. They saw that the two rangers riding in front were killed in cold blood. The Comanches know what Shannon did. They saw the betrayal. Shannon tries to argue, tries to lie, but the tribe's wisdom is ancient. And then the revelation. A valiant enemy. My warriors respected his body. They speak of the dead ranger, and they recognize Tex. Eagle of the Night. The name echoes in the tent. Shannon pales. He isn't dealing with a stranger. He's dealing with a member of the tribe. Tex enters the village. No shots are fired. He walks with the assurance of a chief. Shannon, sweating cold, sees his worst nightmare approaching. "Daniel Shannon, did you come here to kill me again?" asks a voice. Is it John Giroux? No, it's his memory, alive in the accusation. Shannon draws his gun, desperate. "Don't touch your guns or I'll fill you with lead," shouts Blanche, covering Tex. But Tex doesn't need bullets. He advances for personal combat. Shannon tries to turn the tribe against Tex. "That young Indian is Ponytail's son. He saw you kill the two rangers," lies Shannon. But the Comanche chief intervenes. And would a white jury believe the word of a Comanche? The irony cuts deep. Shannon realizes he is alone. Kit Carson has already made the accomplice talk. Shannon's debt will be paid here, on the dirt, without judges in wigs, only under the open sky. The circle closes. Warriors, women, and children watch Tex and Shannon face to face. Shannon tries to shoot, but Tex is a lightning bolt. The gun flies from the traitor's hand. Now it's just fists. Tex strikes with the fury accumulated from months in prison, from years of stained service. Shannon fights dirty, but he's no match. He's a corrupt politician in a world of warriors. Every punch from Tex is a sentence being served. The fight is brutal. Shannon falls, gets up, spits blood. He looks around, seeking help, but finds only contempt in the eyes of the Comanches. They hate cowardice more than anything. Tex hauls him up by the collar. "This time I can't, but I'll be back," Shannon babbles, delirious. No, he won't. The final blow throws him against the earth, broken. The isolated tent witnesses the end of Captain Shannon's career. With Shannon defeated, the truth comes out. Blanche reveals who she really is. It was she who organized everything. Blanche Giroux, the daughter of the man you shot in the back. Shannon, on the ground, tries one last lie. "It's a mistake. I was her father's friend." Pathetic. No one believes it. Tex looks at the fallen man with disgust. Justice has been done, raw and direct. Is there still resistance? Some of Shannon's men try to react, but it's useless. Bang, bang! Tex and Carson are infallible. The last traitors fall in the dust of the village. Blanche shoots too, defending her vengeance. The shootout is brief. When the smoke clears, only the righteous are standing. Shannon and his accomplices have paid the ultimate price. Silence returns to the prairie. Blanche kneels, exhausted but relieved. "Tex, thank you," she whispers. Tex puts a hand on her shoulder. No need for words. Around them, the bodies of the traitors lie twisted. The honor of the Rangers has been washed in blood. The Comanches watch, respectful. Eagle of the Night kept his word and his vengeance. Back to civilization, the mood is one of farewell. Blanche, once again the Parisian lady, is ready to leave. "You can go with her to Paris, Kit," someone jokes. But their place is here, in the dust. The new Black Ranger is accepted. The memory of Rhett and John Giroux is clean. In an elegant hall, Blanche says goodbye with a look that says it all. Tex and Carson stand on the porch. "This isn't the life for us," says Carson. And he's right. The West is big, and the road is calling.